Hello everybody, Fridays18 here. Today I'm going to be showing off the newest Naruto mod. I've been doing a rework for a little while, and I just couldn't really get in the habit of it. But I've been doing a lot of work with this one. I think you guys are going to be really into it. So first off, before we even start anything, I do want to say, A, sorry for the long hiatus on this mod, and B, also thank you to everybody who stuck around. It's really meant a lot. And C, I've desperately tried to make it so my mic doesn't pick up my keyboard. That is surprisingly hard to do. I didn't think it would be, but for some reason, OBS just really hates my keyboard. So, if you guys hear that, I'm sorry. You might hear it a lot, but I'll try to talk over it and I'll try to make it so it's not very obnoxious. So, to start off, we got a few things. Let's see. First off, we got the leveling, money, points, and whatever system. So there's a couple of systems for this game. You're going to see a lot of new additions from we have in the past. There's points, or not points, but money to start off with. Money's going to be useful for getting things like scrolls and all sorts of things like that. DNA. It's going to be big on that. Things are going to be really expensive, and so I'm going to show you how to get money. It's actually a very complex system. Okay. So now nothing seemed to happen. If we go to our data sheet, which looks pretty terrible right now, it's going to get better, of course. But you can see we have our EXP, our level, our points, and our bounty. So you can see we only got 2 EXP from that guy. I'd love to say there's some genius system of how EXP works. But no, it just gives you a random number of EXP per kill from 1 to 5. Same with points, which is how you get stuff in this game. And you get those from leveling up. So as you can see, we're at 32 out of 100. If we were to keep killing these arguably innocent, ooh, that seems rare. If we were to keep killing these guys, you'd see that change. But for right now, that's all that is. And we also have our level. That's kind of a given what that is. When you reach your max EXP, you get your level. When you get a level, you get points, bounty, and money. So points, what that is kind of just, it's how you use stuff in the game. So if we go over to our tab over here, you can see like 20 points, for example. So that's how that's going to be. And then, let's see, next we got bounty. The bounty system is going to be in the future. I've definitely planning to make a mod for this. I'm going to talk a lot about that later because I have a lot of interesting ideas for that one. But for right now, just know there's going to be a system which, like an NPC spawns, where you can kill players for bounty, which will give you more money up here. Like I said, you get bounty from just leveling up and killing things and stuff, so it's not that interesting. Of course, you got all the stuff down here. Increasing your chakra increases your chakra max. Your ninjutsu is going to be something required to learn certain moves. Medical is going to increase your health and also be necessary to learn medical. Senjutsu is going to increase how long you have modes for, and also it'll be in charge of sage mode and curse mark and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, gonna move on. So the next thing we gotta go over is elements. Now these textures look absolutely horrendous. I'd love to say they don't. They do, but they're just placeholders for right now. Don't pay too much attention to them. They're gonna get changed very soon. But doing all the texture and stuff usually comes at the end because that's the part that takes a lot of effort and just time per. So this is just easier to have placeholders. So first we're gonna go over lightning. Currently in the game, by the way, 5 KKGs and 5 elementals. But take in mind, all these have at least 2 moves. All the elementals have 3. All these have 3 except for lava, because lava is surprisingly not that cool. I made it pretty good though. But so first we gotta go over lightning. We need 20 points. So for that we're just gonna do set points, and this is of course just admin stuff. Normal players aren't gonna be able to do this. For anyone who's watching thinking they might wanna, I've had a lot of people in the past who do stuff with mods and such. Just wanna let y'all know. Or server, sorry. So we learned all our stuff for lightning. We have Chidori Senbon. Not that interesting. It's kind of exactly what you'd think it would be. We got Kirin. Count myself on that, but it's just a lot of lightning strikes, and I'll show you again in a second. Chidori, so what Chidori does is you go really fast, and then everything around you, you teleport to it and deal a lot of damage. So as you can see, I just killed a lot of stuff. Yeah, let's show off Kieran again, but me not flying into it. That's a glitch. I'll fix that. don't worry about that. But yeah, this is lightning. I do plan to do some cool stuff with it, but all the cool stuff I want to do, I want to make it so you have to master it. So like for all the elements, I want to make it so there's a mastery kind of system. Yeah, so let's get all of our husks back. So that's lightning for right now. Kieran, Chidori, and lightning Senbon. Let's move on to fire. Alright, fire has 3 moves. But first, before we address whatever that was, oh, I forgot. It takes a skill learner each time you do that. Never mind, I'm stupid. Okay, so multi-fireball jutsu. Basically, that's kind of hard to see initially, so it's easier to see it when you shoot out far. You shoot out about 5 bursts of fireballs with these cool effects on them. I'm pretty proud of these particles. They're not the craziest thing ever, but they look like balls, you know, so it makes sense. Massive fireball jutsu. Yeah, so I experiment. I'm going to be doing a lot more modeling in this mod for projectiles and stuff, because I think that looks nice. Okay, so let's get all these guys back. We can show that again. It's nothing's balanced yet, just for the record. So if you see anything too OP or too weak, I have a lot of testers and they will gladly assist me in that. But there's that. And fire blaze kind of says exactly what it says it will. It lights everything around it on fire. I think it lasts for 15 seconds, I want to say. That is a lot, but yeah. Anyways, that's fire. Pretty overpowered, if I'm being honest. It's not that balanced yet, but it's whatever. Now we have all these moves. So we got boulder throw. That may not seem that good, and it's because it's not that good, but it's not that bad either. Okay, that's not actually convenient. So what it is it's a very short range move, but with a really high knockback. So like if you were getting comboed, you could just pop that, shoot your enemy back, and it also does a decent amount of damage. It's not bad for damage, and the cooldown's also really short. So it's just like a very, like I could aim it up so you can see how short it actually is. It doesn't go that far. Ground smash. Smash the ground around you, and it deals a lot more damage than I thought it did. We're gonna work on that. Next we got Earth Dragon, Shoot Shout, and Earth Dragon. So you have, I try to make, so for everything I try to make it like kind of what it kind of stands for. So you got like lightning is a very fast-paced move set. You have things like the Senbon, which are just quick little pops while you're like running around. Chidori, you can just pop till you're running around, whatever. Fire, a lot of burn damage and stuff. Earth is balanced in about every single thing, like in Avatar and Naruto and everything. In all of them, they're very balanced, like every anime kind of thing. So I try to make it like that. So you have one move, high knockback, short range. One move, close range, high damage. One move, long range, mediocre damage. That's not a good example. That guy was really low. Anyways, that's Earth. Water. Water's pretty overpowered right now, I'm gonna be honest. But so we got water shotgun. Does not seem like a shotgun. It seems like a few bubbles. But I promise that's more than just a few bubbles. It just takes, you have to shoot pretty far. But it shoots like 7 shots. They're just all pretty low damage. But it has a pretty wide range because it hits everything in that ratio, so it's good. Water prison. Okay, so everyone around you gets put in a water prison, which means they are getting, so what water prison is they're stunned and they're taking damage for about 5 seconds, I believe. May seem like a lot. I promise it's not that much. Yeah, it's pretty good. Shark bubble on the other hand. Shark bubble is one of those ones where I may have gone off a little bit too much. So that may not have seemed like that much, but for water prison, it's like a slow tick damage. It's like it does not that much damage, but it does it over time. Shark bubble, or yeah, what it does is everything a range of you gets put in a bubble. Of course, there's gonna be effects for this later that'll look nicer, but and then after a set amount of time, it just does a huge burst of damage. I think it does like 8 damage, which is more than another right sword. And then water prison, of course, is just to take damage. So they both have their place, and then water shotgun also pretty decent. As you can see, water's not the highest damage. It's just an overall good one. It has 2 AoE moves and a shotgun long distance move. Because for as much as I like to call this a shotgun, that's a pretty decent range. You know what I mean? So that's pretty good. Lastly, we got wind for elementals. So let's just pop all this. Wind blast. This one's gonna be kind of a given, but yeah, pretty decent knockback. This is what it looks like. Yeah, air slice. This one is actually pretty cool. I like the way this one looks. The effects on this. So it's a very short range slice move, but it does a lot of damage. I'm gonna show you that in F5 in a second. But first, let's see what Sengun. What Sengun does is the long cooldown. For each of these things, they do a certain amount of chakra, and the cooldowns correspondent to the amount of chakra they do. So the amount of cooldown is chakra times 5. That's how many ticks it takes. So it's 80 times 5. But anyways, Rasengan's pretty cool. I have to go into game mode survival to actually show it. So anyways, I know that didn't look that cool. Okay, this guy's perfect. Here we go. He's escaping. Alright, so let's get one of these guys. Hit him. It shoots him in a random direction and then explodes. Next, let's air slice these guys. Wind blast. Yeah, I'm not saying I did that good with wind, but I mean it's pretty cool looking. it's not bad. I especially like the Rasengan. I find a lot of joy in that. And air slice. God, air slice looks so cool to me. But yeah, so that's gonna be all of the things for now. Which, reminder, I do plan to awaken all this, so there's gonna be a second mode. But for right now, this is what it is. But I do plan to make it so you can get like, I don't know, like a lariat and stuff, for example. I might make that like clan based or village based, or I might make it elemental based. I'm not too sure. But yeah. Anyways, on to the next thing. We got our KKGs. So first up is crystal. So we have crystal armor. Gives you a little crystal armor effect, which gives you resistance 3 for about 5 seconds, I think. This runs out in about like 6 seconds, so it's spammable. I think it takes like 10 shots. Yeah, it's not that bad. The only issue is you have to keep going back to it, so that's the only thing. Crystal blade. You get a sword. It's called Blade Tool right now because I actually forgot to change this name. But you get 2 hits with it, and they do a decent amount of damage. I will look up. I think it's slightly less than a netherite. Ooh, slightly more than netherite. Yeah, pretty good. Next, we got crystal spikes. So this is another AOE. Yeah, so you basically send a spike through everybody. You also get slowed down. So what it does is it slows everyone in the area down, and then after the first spike hits, the second spike does all the damage. You can get the description around it, but that's kind of what's going on there, which is not bad at all. I forgot how much damage it does. It's like not a crazy amount of damage. I am trying to balance things out now rather than later, but it's it's a moderate amount. So now we have wooden fist barrage. Shoot out 3 or 4. Wow, okay, 4 fists, and they do decent damage, I think, but they're pretty close range. Like they can't really go that far. All these are like landing by the tree, so they're like very mediocre range, but they're nice. Wood dragon. That's a stun. It does like no damage. I don't think it does any damage actually yet, but it stuns the opponent, and there will be effects for that, of course. Once again, this is all early access. I've been working on this for about like 3 days now. Sorry about my throat. I just got off of being sick, but yeah, it stuns, and I guess it does do some damage. I didn't know that. It probably does like 1 damage or something. 1000 Arm Jutsu is one of my favorite jutsus in the game right now. I am a big fan of that crystal spike move, but this is also pretty cool. Yeah, that's it's not balanced. It's not balanced at all. It's actually very, very, very incredibly unfair. But what it does is it shoots you in the air and then explodes everything around you with some particle effects. The idea is that like when he goes into that giant 1000 arm state and starts hitting everything and all that, there's gonna be like I don't know. I think I'm gonna make like a sage mode where you can actually ride that thing and like use that move. But for right now, it's just this really, really, really OP AoE. So that's wood. Clay. Clay's not that crazy cool. It's all right. You got explosive palm, so you hit sling, it explodes. Clay bird shoots like 3 explosive birds. They don't do that much explosion, obviously. And then there's C3. C3 may not have seemed that crazy, but I'm gonna emphasize how insane C3 is. By the way, if you're seeing that the explosions are actually breaking blocks, that's because we had a few servers running with the mod at the time, and it was kind of detrimental that like every move could break blocks. It's not really good for servers. And let's use this again. As you can see, it started there, hit everything in this radius. I think its radius is directly like about right here if I dropped it right there, so it's pretty good. Alright, now we got 2 more left. We got boil. Last time today. We got boiling cloud. It's an AoE. It blinds and sets everything on fire in the area. So all these guys are blind right now. It's for 5 seconds. It's not that bad, but it's the point that it's an AoE, blind, and burn. So even though it doesn't last that long, I still think this is pretty good. You can just like run an opponent, pop it, and all of a sudden they're blinded and on fire. So it has its value for sure in combos and stuff. Boiling ball. Yeah. Just an explosion. I think it's on fire too, so if it hits something, it'll light it on fire and explode, so it's pretty good. Boiling strength. You get about like 8 seconds, I think, of all this stuff, which is pretty good. Also, it makes you glow, because I thought that would look cool. So that's boil and lava. You got ash rocks and corrosive quicklime. So I didn't really know what to do with lava, because honestly, looking at the wiki and stuff, lava kind of sucks in general. Like, all the stuff I did with lava in the first mod was very far-fetched from what lava actually is used for. Lava in Naruto is basically just like a really hot substance. It's not like actual lava. So that's why I did this. So we got ash rocks. Shoot a couple of little rocks. They're on fire. So that's the fire damage. Lava is gonna be very tick damage based. So this first move, lights on fire, and this next move. Okay, these guys had incredibly low health from all the explosions I did with them, but I promise it actually does stuff. So this isn't actually, lava's actually not that OP. It's just a good, like, I imagine people are gonna have a lot of like Keiki Genkai and elements and shit, which isn't a bad thing. I want that to happen, and they're gonna be mixing them a lot. And this is just where I feel like it could be thrown into the hotbar. It's not that bad. Yeah. So that's that. Not that exciting, but not that bad either. Now some other things I want to go over is so if you hold V, you charge your chakra, which you can see up there in the top left corner. And in the last mod, it was fucking horrendous. You had to tap it. I don't know why you guys like. Well, you guys did talk to me a lot about that, but I mean, I don't know why you guys put up with it. It was terrible. But I figured out how to do it so you could charge it. Yeah, the system's a lot nicer now. It makes life a lot easier. Yeah, and then there's also so I'm gonna talk about the future a little bit. So first off, there's gonna be a server for sure, and I want it to be a closed community server, and it's gonna have like permadeath and stuff like that. And if you're curious about that and you're not in the community yet, be sure to click the link down below to my Discord. I do plan to be, I'll work pretty fast. So this mod will probably be out like in decent condition within the next 3 months, which may seem like a lot of time, but it's a whole Naruto mod. So I'm assuming with summer coming up and everything, I might be a little bit. I've been getting a little bit slower because I'm going to college soon, within the next like 2 months. So I've been kind of busy, but I doubt this mod won't be. There will be at least one release for it within the next like 3 months, and I really am pushing for a server because I don't know. I think it'd be really fun. All the servers we had back then were actually pretty fun, and so this new server is going to be closed community, which means it's not going to be like everyone can join. It's going to be like a selective handful. The reason I'm doing that is just to make it a bit more interesting. and add a bit more tension. I find that closed community games have a tendency to be a bit fun or more fun. I was also thinking about like paid access for it. Obviously, this is terrible right now, but if you saw my other mod, you know how good it can get. The other mod's not amazing, but with all the new stuff I learned, I imagine it's gonna be pretty nice. But I don't think I'm gonna do paid access. I think paid access is kind of cool. It limits the amount of people that can join to like people who have a card or whatever, which can help sometimes. But at the same time, it also it feels kind of discriminatory, and not discriminatory, but it's just like a bit pushing people away who don't have excess money to spend on a Minecraft server, and to me, I don't really fuck with that. So just know, paid access is out the window. There might be stuff like rerolls or whatever, if I make it like that for the server, but don't worry about like money, financial stuff. I know there's a lot of servers right now that are like that, and so I'm just letting you know ahead of time. What else? Yeah, permadeath. Permadeath is not going to be a thing 24/7. I don't think that'd be very fun, but I will do permadeath events so that like every once in a while, we'll have some like battle or event, and in that time you can be permanently wiped, which just means that you're not banned or anything, but you're probably not going to be able to, you know, you're just gonna have to reset your character, and like all your progress and stuff is gonna be lost, which isn't that terrible. You don't have to do the events; they're just gonna be there for if you want to. You're online at the time, and it's gonna say it. It's not just gonna be like a surprise. It's gonna be like in advance, so it might be just like every Tuesday or whatever. I don't know. I'll have some. I got some great staff, so I'm sure they'll have fun with that. And I made a lifesteal mod not too long ago, and I might be using that for the server. The only issue with lifesteal is that it basically dwindles the community because people die and then people get really strong and other people are really weak, so they die. So it just basically leaves like an elite 5 at the top, which not that fun. So just know, to anyone who's been asking about, to anyone who's new to this, there was a mod before this, and I kind of held out on any updates for a while after releasing the newest version because I've been really busy. But everyone's been asking about servers and stuff like there used to be, because they were so fun, man. I miss it. And trust me, I do plan to bring it back, and I plan to make it super fun. Also, for the closed community aspect of it, I want you guys to know it's not going to be like no one can enter. It's very much so going to be, I don't know how to describe it. It's not going to be no one can enter. It's going to be a lot of people can enter, but there's going to be a limit just to keep things not that crazy. So I've talked and rambled on for way too long now. I'm sure anyone still by this point is very bored. So I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Peace.